So hi guys and girls, new here and decided to finally make this video. It's a nightmare getting the gear knob off a 370Z, or Z for the non-Brits, so I thought I'd show you how I did it. First you have to remove the trim around the gear stick, just pull back and towards you, slightly up. It should be pretty easy. Be careful, there's some cables attached so it doesn't come away fully. Near the end of the video you can see the cables and what the gear stick looks like underneath, so if you want to skip ahead and just see what you need to be careful of under there. With the gear knob attached, it is pretty hard to fully detach the trim piece. There's a couple of little plastic tabs holding it in, but it can come away, but you're still going to have the cables attached unless you want to remove the cables. I left them on. I used a pipe wrench and a bike inner tube, as you can see. That sort of helped me grab onto the bottom linkage. I read loads of forums and found that this is sort of the best solution, combining a few people's approaches, and it doesn't damage the finish. I used my leg to lock the pipe wrench in the bottom position there, but it's probably easier for two people to do it really, but it was just me on this day, so... you need two inner tubes, obviously, one for the bottom, one for the shifter linkage, and one for the gear knob itself. I used a rubber pipe wrench on the gear knob as I didn't want to damage it. Apologies for how often I'm using the word knob here, but I'm British, so that's what we call it. It's a shifter for the rest of the world, but we like a good stick and knob. So I started out correct, wrapping the tube around anti-clockwise, but for some reason I switched part way through to doing it clockwise, which was a mistake. Eventually I realised that anti-clockwise it locks in tighter as the wrench slips, it sort of tightens it up. If it's clockwise it loosens. I'm sure people who work with pipes or something pipe related, it's pretty obvious, but it wasn't intuitive to me, so I had to find out the hard way. But anyway, just to warn you, this video is pretty long, so feel free to skip to some more useful parts. I've included the whole thing though, just to let you see how long it took even with the right method and tools. If you're wondering why I keep stopping, it's sometimes to check to see if there's no damage, and sometimes just because there's some slipping. So here I'm learning that anti-clockwise is good and clockwise is bad. Occasionally if you hear some noise like thunder, it's not thunder, it's just a plane flying over. Finally, I think, probably because of the clockwise wrapping, I got it to move. There we go, only about 20 degrees or so to begin with, but that felt like a success at this point. I tried with my hands then, but it was still really tight, so I had to go back to the wrench. Wrong. Clockwise again. I think this time though, when I rewrap it, you can actually see when I put the wrench on and start to move it, how the inner tube actually gets tighter around the gear knob as you rotate it, so that actually helps. Also, you may see people just twisting the gear knob without holding onto the bottom linkage, but that's putting a lot of force through the linkage at the bottom there, and I think it can seriously damage it, so I wouldn't try it that way. It's sort of the nozzle of the inner tube that I'm struggling with there. I mean, once I found the right position, I could pretty much lock it in and do a few revolutions without having to reset. Yeah, my hands are really tired here, but I was pretty happy. It still took quite a lot of force to get it moving, even with the wrenches in the tube there. You can see the blisters on my thumb just from the force I was using. No damage on the leather on the gear knob there, so that was pretty good. That'll be on sale on eBay soon. And there's the cables I was talking about. So you could detach them, but I just wanted to leave them attached. It seemed easier. No damage there either. And then it's time to fit the new gear knob. So I was using the Seng Slammer. It's a nice sort of black and chrome one that I thought went with the colour scheme of the car really well. It's pretty simple really, just screw in the nut directly onto the thread of the gear stick. There were no adapters needed. And then there's a screw in the top of the nut to adjust the height and orientation of the gear knob. But I tried mine. To begin with, it was facing the wrong way, and I unscrewed it. The nut stayed in the gear knob itself and turned it about a quarter turn, so a different bit of the thread lined up. Tightened it up, and it was all aligned, which is pretty fortunate. You can see the boot was hanging down a little bit there, and I just tidied that up with a bit of electrical tape underneath to hold it in place. And voila! That's how I did it. So let me know if this has been useful. Hopefully I'll put a few more videos out of my pet projects, and thanks for watching.